Okay, real wargamer at the wargaming table, doing something a little different this time. I was thinking about all the wonderful, wonderful games there are to play out there, and thought I would do a video about what I'm going to play next. I haven't made up my mind, and again, there are so many wonderful games to play. Obviously, I still have Rebel Yell going on there, right here. Such a great game. So, a simulation game, that's a very good way to put it. A simulation game of the American Civil War, Rebel Yell, small unit tactics of the American Civil War. Very well presented, well described. So Richard Dengel, game designer, did an outstanding job. Cannot laud this game enough. Game Publications Group, fairly thick, nice full-sized box, nice description there. Yeah, over 1,000 full color back-printed counters, with lots of status markers, strength markers, etc. Not strength mark, hit markers. 6 geomorphic maps, one battle map. So it does include this separate game. I don't know if you call it a mini game. I don't know what you'd call it, but there's Rebel Yell, which is a system game. And then there's also included in the box, For a Cause Not Their Own, the Battle of First Newtonia. The battle game. So there's the system game and then the battle game. But anyways, I am definitely 100% interested in the system game, and it absolutely did not disappoint. Such a great game. I made it up to, right here is the Module 3. Module 3, Gordon's Assault. So I got 2 Module 3 rules. Obviously I deployed with my leaders. By the way, I just want to say in passing, and maybe it comes back to this idea of simulation game. I like that not everything revolves around the leaders. Keep the effective leaders down. This personal position. I didn't get to a bayonet charge though, but so I was thinking of maybe way over there on the edge of the camera screen there on the far Union right flank. I was thinking maybe the Confederates would try a bayonet charge there, but there might be you would think that there would, you would think that there might be a terrain limitation. Where is it? You would think that you'd pretty much have to be in open or nearly open terrain. There's obviously a facing issue. Well, anyways, I would not be surprised if there is a terrain limitation, in which case the rebels would need to look at doing a bayonet charge in the center here where the terrain's more clear, but that's also where they were blown back by the Union. So such a great game. But I am thinking about maybe suspending play here. I played way more than I thought I would. And it's just clearly in my top dozen surprise finds since I started gaming regularly here. great surprise find, discovery, whatever you want to call it. So there are 7 modules. Again, I got into module level 3 or module 3, but module 7, yeah, module 7 is all cavalry. Module 7 is all cavalry. That's all it is. And I do not care about cavalry well, I don't care about cavalry very much at all, but I certainly don't care about cavalry during the Civil War. So really just give me, so when I come back to this, if I suspend play here, I'll come back, I'll add the sub-formations, definitely looking forward to that. That's stand to maneuver, stand to fire, skirmisher. I'll get to different MFZs, which makes sense for the different sub-formations. And I'll get to the artillery. I do want, while I don't care about cavalry, I do want, for the American Civil War at this scale and scope, I definitely want to play with infantry supporting cavalry, or artillery, and artillery supporting infantry. So that's module 5. And I do want to get to module 6 because 6 adds cover. That's why. So infantry line subformation cover. So for me, when I get to the subformations, the artillery, and the cover, that's what I'm looking for. So there are more little ones in here. There's volley fire, and there is whites of the eyes, and there's earthworks and stuff. But really, subformations, artillery, and cover is what I'm looking for. So that does go up through module 6. That gives me my infantry, artillery, and yeah, such a great system. So that is Rebel Yell there. So if I suspend play, what do I want to play next? So I was thinking about coming completely out of historic. So I did think about coming completely out of the historical games and maybe finally getting to Introduction to Starfleet Battles. Definitely something I want to get to. Definitely something I want to get to. It also has, which I'm kind of a fan of now, the programmed instruction. So here, with the Introduction to Starfleet Battles game here, go through these different rules for scenarios. So go through a series of scenarios. I think there are a dozen scenarios, and they add rules for each scenario. 8, scenario 9. So it'll be like, rules for scenario 9 here and then here. So add about a page and a quarter of rules, and then scenario 9. And it's also nice that I think many, if not all, the scenarios have a little instant replay section here. So this is like variants, so to speak. Instant replay for scenario 8. So scenario 8 is pirate raid, and then instant replay is if the pirate wins too easily, have the starship appear on the 5th turn or earlier. Another alternative is to roll 1 die at the start of every turn. The starship appears when a 1 is rolled. So yeah, those are like variants. So you can immediately play that training scenario. These are all training scenarios, I think. I wonder what they consider the end. So scenario 11 and 12. So rules for scenario 12. This scenario will give you some experience in dealing with the Tholian web. While this scenario is challenging enough, the advanced web rules in volume 1 are much more dangerous. The Tholian web, scenario 12. Okay, graduation. So congratulations, having completed scenarios 1 through 7 plus 10 and possibly others. You have graduated from the Starfleet Academy and are now ready to move onward and upwards to a starship command of your own, and so on and so forth. So I do I do expect myself to lay out these and play this exactly as it was intended, or nearly as intended. So that means starting, I mean, of course I could jump up to the full rules, but I think I'd like to go through and enjoy this how it was designed. So it has little cadet ships, and it has as well, it has these how do you explain it? It has these, it has, you know, kind of a simplified impulse, 8 impulse move chart, cadet energy allocation form, which is simplified, cadet sequence of play, and then an advanced sequence of play, and then it has damage allocation chart, 16 impulse move chart. So you go from an 8 impulse move chart to a 16 impulse move chart to finally the 32 impulse move chart. So definitely an option that I'm thinking of if I want to break entirely. I mean, I've been doing historical for quite some time. Yeah. And then there's North Danube, a North German plain. I was thinking of Donau Front, but which is another game. North German plain. I was thinking of this because some of these mental connections aren't necessarily very logical, but facing matters. In many, many, many cases, facing matters. And so I do like the idea. Here's the great terrain. I really like the terrain in, I should just say North German Plain and Donau Front. I really still don't have any meaningful experience with the earlier series. So I don't want to talk about them, but I do know I really like the map and terrain presentation in Donau Front and North German Plain. But here in with battalions, or roughly battalion scale, I mean, I just simply think facing matters. I think it matters. I don't like it abstracted out, but I'm not sure I'm ready to go back to post 1900. I've been doing so much of that gaming in the last couple years that I'm not sure I'm ready to go back to that. I think I might want to continue staying pre-1900. So there is Sagunto. Basically, Sagunto is a game. Yeah, I won't take it out, but I did finish prepping a lot of the counters, and so for that reason, I'm feeling drawn. I'm feeling drawn to trying Sagunto. Yeah, looks great. And every time I look at the rules, I mean, I did walk through some of Rivoli, but when I look at the rules, break out these rules again for Sagunto, the rules are just really, again, enticing. So I'm just feeling drawn to trying this again. Napoleonic, battalion unit scale, percentile dice, and some really interesting rules. And finally, there's this one. And this is the one that I really was thinking about, so this is the one that got me started, got me thinking about taking a break from Rebel Yell. Because Rebel Yell is company unit scale, and Incredible Courage is company unit scale. So units are modeled at the company and squadron level, 10-minute turns, 100-meter hexes. That part I'm not sure of. I'm not sure why I'm not playing it on 50-meter hexes. I'm not sure about that. I did notice that. Why are we at 100 meters? So this I want to talk about because I'm thinking about playing, but I have nothing to compare this to. This really isn't anything like, when I think of Napoleonic battle, I think of the La Bataille design style. I mean, Sagunto is kind of like a reimagining of the La Bataille system. I think it's very, oh, this is so difficult. I'd like to really test that idea, but I do think that that's a very successful reimagining of the La Bataille system. And what do I mean by that? I think probably it's definitely reimagined for percentile dice, but I don't think that's the heart of it. I think the heart of it is making a game that's more intuitive and playable. But anyways, that's a thesis to test there. But Incredible Courage just keeps drawing me as well. Again, I have no idea what to compare this to. The rules supplement for Telnitz. It's the southern part of the Austerlitz battlefield. The original rules of play, but here's the updated rules of play. This company, now, don't know why I'm mentioning this, but some of the best die cutting I've ever seen from this company. This company has had some of the best die cutting I've ever seen and some of the worst die cutting I've ever seen. I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. This example of just, perfect die cutting. I know the lighting isn't good there, but I mean that is not worked on much. See that die cutting? And it's just, again, like I said, this is an example of some of the best die cutting I've ever seen, and this is not the only game from this company that I've had that falls in this category. But also, I have some games from this company that have some pretty horrendous die cutting. And it's not alignment. It's not alignment, by the way. And I know that's kind of a popular thing to comment on. The alignment's basically always been good from this company. But when the die cutting isn't good, it's a problem of not being clean. Well, they're not clean at all. It's the opposite of clean. They look pretty ratty, actually. The die cutting looks ratty. But again, alignment is most important. But I just have to comment on that. From the same company, some of the best die cutting I've ever seen and some of the worst die cutting I've ever seen. So what would I do if I tried this? Which again would be for me just jumping into something that I really, again have nothing to compare it to. I have no problems, by the way, whatsoever with clean, stylized maps like this. It's one way to do it, and I have no issue with it. Perfectly fine. And for that matter, I think let's see, I think get a combat unit here. I think I'm trying to remember, I think they face X spine. I think they see, looks pretty I mean, that looks pretty nice, but again, a thesis to test. I think this this game will be I think it'll be a success, I think. Now, don't know about white on the maps, but hey, it's I don't know that won't work. I don't know that won't work. We have the same unit in column, which I really like. I'll get into this when I get to the game, but it's actually, I mean, this is totally has nothing to do with the very, very well-known La Bataille style. I don't think this has anything to do with that, but I like the way they do it here, actually. So, if I did this, if I looked at Incredible Courage, Telnitz, let me see, so these are all there's Sokolnitz village, right there, pretty famous, very famous for the battle actually. Sokolnitz Castle, famous, again for this battle. So that would be an interesting, that'd be some interesting terrain to fight on with all the elevation changes. Is intriguing. And here we go. So scenario 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, looks like scenario 1, 2, and 3. So maybe I would do. Okay, scenario 1 is probably the whole thing. And then, oh yeah, okay, scenario 1 is the whole thing. I guess for this game, Telnitz in particular, I guess that's always out of bounds. That's what it looks like. Then we have scenario 3 and scenario 2, so I'd probably start with scenario 3. Guess that would also help me if your action's taking place about there. It'd be fairly easy terrain to learn the system on. Longeron's attack on Sokolnitz, which is oh yeah, right there. Okay. Fourth Corps. I guess that's probably what I would be looking at. Charts and charts and charts. I'm just going to say one more thing. So these were all the different ideas for what I look at playing next. Adjustable strength chart. Is there? Yeah, there is a different one. Yes, there is. Okay, so terrain. Okay, turn track, terrain. Okay, so slope and steep slope. Trying to figure out what the different colors there are. Oops, where's my fire combat? There it is. Incredible courage at Austerlitz. Fire combat table by, I guess, firepower strength. And melee by odds. Okay. That's all straightforward. Something that I think is fairly unique to this game are these adjustable strength charts. I know I should be saying this looks like, you know, looks like a brilliant idea, blah, blah, blah. I'm not... I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. No, wait a minute. I do know what to make of it. If this extra step, so when you roll the 10-sided die for the combat table, you're also rolling a 6-sided die for this adjustable strength chart. And if this is only to address basically players who play the system, strength point hunt. But wait a minute. I understand that in melee where it's odds column, but fire is by total strength. So, well, in any case, it's an extra step, right? Yeah, I mean, it is an extra step because you're coming up with, like in many cases, not all, of course, but you have some zeros here. But you're coming up with a lot of variables from 5 to -4, yeah, anywhere from -4 to 5. And you're adding this number to the strength combat of each unit or subtracting. And, why? I really don't understand this. I think instead of, and this is, I'm really talking, obviously I'm talking off the cuff here, I really am. But I just don't understand why you don't just go with a percentile fire combat table with a lot of variation in the table instead of this two-step process. Line, column, open, skirmish, square, fire, melee, infantry, cavalry, and by nationality, which I suppose isn't that big a deal, right? Because each player by nationality would have their own chart, but I don't know. I'll tell you right now, I'm not enthusiastic about that. I guess I just better try it as designed. Guess I should just go ahead and try it as designed. See what I think about it. But I haven't really helped myself decide what I'm going to play next.